This is not healthy for our country. Too often, too many, particularly on the right, are found guilty until proven innocent on issues of race, issues of fairness. I say that because as I think about some of the comments that have come into my office over the last several weeks, that I'm used to being attacked. If you sign up to be a black conservative, the chances are very high you will be attacked. It comes with the territory, and I've had it for 20 years, 2 decades. But my friends and my staff, they're not used to the level of animus that comes in from the liberal left, who suggests that I somehow am not helpful to the cause of liberal America, and therefore I am not helpful to black America, because they see those as one and the same. I brought some of the pages of chats that I have from folks on, actually I don't have chat, the comments that I get from Twitter about my support of Jeff Sessions. Tracy V. Johnson, Mr. Tracy J. sends in Senator Uncle Tim Scott. Everyone in South Carolina who happens to be a left-winger knows that Tim Scott is an Uncle Tom. S is not for Scott. It is for fertilizer. S. Scott says, a white man in a black body, Tim Scott, backs Jeff Sessions for Attorney General. Of my chief of staff, until 3 weeks ago, the only African-American chief of staff in the United States Senate out of 100 is the chief of staff for a Republican. The second African-American chief of staff in the United States Senate is the chief of staff of a Republican. And yet, they say of my chief of staff, she's high yellow, an implication that she's just not black enough. I go on to read from folks who wanted to share their opinions about my endorsing Jeff Sessions. You are a disgrace to the black race. Anthony Burnham at Burnham R says, you are an Uncle Tom Scott. You're for Sessions. How does a black man turn on his own? Anthony B. at Political Art says, Senator Tim Scott is not an Uncle Tom. He doesn't have a shred of honor. He's a house Negro, like the one in Django. He also writes, I guess Anthony Burnham has been fairly active recently on my Twitter feed, I'm a complete horror. A black man who's a racist against black people, a big Uncle Tom piece of fertilizer. You are a disgrace to your race. I left out all the ones that used the N-word. Just felt like that would not be appropriate. You see, what I'm surprised by, just a smidgen, is that the liberal left that speaks and desires for all of us to be tolerant do not want to be tolerant of anyone that disagrees with where they are coming from. So the definition of tolerance isn't that all Americans experience a high level of tolerance. It's that all Americans who agree with them experiences this so-called tolerance. And I'm not saying this because it bothers me, because frankly, as I said, 2 decades of this, you don't necessarily get used to it, but